America has elected a new president. But what will the 46th Commander-in-Chief do? And what will Joe Biden's America look like? As Joe Biden moves into the White House and becomes leader of the free world, he's taking over a deeply divided country, tackling a deadly virus.
You are such a moron!
His pitch on the campaign trail was to be a unifier, but that could be difficult.
Vote for Trump like true Americans! We've been getting middle finger stuff thrown at us all for the past hour and a half that we've been here.
The most pressing issue on Biden's agenda is COVID-19.
This is not political. It's patriotic. Wearing a mask. Wear one. Period.
Unlike his predecessor, he has pledged to listen to the scientists.
If we're going to choose science over fiction, we're going to choose hope over fear, we're going to choose to move forward because we have enormous opportunities to make things better.
His plan to combat COVID includes working with local leaders to require Americans to wear face masks. He also wants to expand testing and make a vaccine free for everyone. President Biden needs to pull the US out of an economic hole and drive a global recovery. Hundreds of thousands of Americans are still unable to find a job because of the pandemic.
Depression haunted America.
Biden's plan to invest government money to restart the economy has been compared to FDR's New Deal policies during the Great Depression.
That's exactly what he did, lifting us out of a Great Depression. The president guided not by wistful thinking, but by science, reason, and fact. That's the kind of president I hope to be.
Biden has promised to invest hundreds of billions of dollars in US industry, provide loans to small companies, and reverse some of Donald Trump's tax cuts, making wealthier Americans pay more. He's also shown support for a $15 national minimum wage, almost double what it is now. That economic vision is tied up with his desire to put America back at the forefront of the fight against climate change.
We can make sure that our economy is being run and moved and motivated by clean energy, creating millions of new jobs.
Biden wants to spend $2 trillion on clean energy like solar and wind technologies. He's also set an ambitious target of net zero carbon emissions by 2050. And he wants the US to rejoin the Paris Climate Accord, which President Trump abandoned in support of the fossil fuel industry. While Donald Trump carved a path as an outlier on the international stage, Joe Biden is more likely to embrace the institutions that Trump demonized, like NATO and the World Health Organization. Biden also wants America to once again be a player in the Iran nuclear deal, alongside European allies. And don't expect more love letters to dictators.
You know what, North Korea? We're not in a war. We have a good relationship. You know, people don't understand. Having a good relationship
Trump,
with leaders of other countries is a good thing.
We had a good relationship with Hitler before he, in fact, invaded Europe, the rest of Europe. Come on.
The British government will be scrambling to talk to the new administration about a post-Brexit trade deal. The US is Britain's biggest trading partner after the EU. And while Biden respects the US-UK special relationship, he'll also see relations with Europe as a priority. Back on the home front, Biden will be judged heavily on the way he deals with racial tensions. He's already faced criticism for his record on race over more than 3 decades as a US senator. But amidst national protests over police brutality and inherent racism, Biden, the candidate, promised Biden, the president, would make equality a priority.
This is Joe Biden. Black Lives Matter, period. I'm not afraid to say it.
He's promised to invest in and lend to black and brown businesses and increase access to affordable housing for minority communities. Many Americans struggle to pay for medical care, and insurance plans are pricey. Donald Trump repeatedly tried to dismantle Obamacare, and in doing so, drastically reduce the number of people with medical insurance. Joe Biden wants to expand his old boss's program to cover more Americans.
And we have now just enshrined, as soon as I sign this bill, the core principle that everybody should have some basic security when it comes to their health.
President Biden's policies and his picks for cabinet will have to tread a careful line, far enough to the left to please the Democrats' increasingly liberal base, but he can't alienate the centrist voters that secured him this victory and risk losing a second term.
It ain't over, man. We're just getting started.
Although at 78, Biden becomes America's oldest president, and some are skeptical about him running again in 2024. Would his vice president, Kamala Harris, take his place? Whoever is on the ticket in 4 years' time, they'll be running on Biden's achievements or against his failures. And America will have to decide whether he delivered.